What inspired me most to write this book is that I am now Linda. I am now the woman that I wanted to become. And it took a very long time to get here. So I decided to write about how I got here. And whether it's good, whether it's bad, I own it, I own up to it. But I wanted to write the book. I wanted to encourage other women to keep going. So that was a huge inspiration to me, was to find myself again, because I was lost. I grew up in Washington, D.C. I pretty much lived throughout most of the D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area, mostly growing up in Capitol Heights, Maryland, also with family in Southeast Washington, D.C., Northwest. So I pretty much maneuvered all around the DMV. So that was a great time. That was a good time in my life growing up in that area. I felt I was lost because I went through a lot of things in some pretty messed up relationships. And I also went through a time in my life where I felt unworthy, didn't have a lot of self-confidence, even though I kept maneuvering through life. But there were some things that were crippling me from childhood, some experiences, from relationships. And I just went with the flow. But the flow wasn't me. The flow wasn't really who I was or who I wanted to be. So writing this book was like, it was a tell-all, even though I have a lot more to say, but I was able to manage it into a small part. But I just felt that it was time for people to hear me roar, hear my voice, and for me to speak up and speak out and help other women, because I've been through a lot. And I try to throw some of it in the book, but most of it was just trying to be uplifting and powerful. I'm a powerful, uplifting, beautiful human being now. And I didn't see that before, but I'm so excited that I see it now. The title, If My Vagina Could Talk, came from the truth. It came from the birth canal. It came from what women do every day. We give life. And every single person on this earth come from a vagina. I don't know if you knew that or not, but it does. And I think that's the most powerful part of our bodies. And it has the most powerful story. It's a storytelling animal within itself. And a lot of my pain, a lot of my anger could have come from, childbirth and sex and love and life itself. But, your vagina has these cravings of life, and it gives birth, and it has a mind of its own, and it speaks to you profoundly. We just don't listen all the time. So I didn't want to sugarcoat the title. I didn't want to say, let's talk about life, women. No, I wanted to talk about that hormonal beast that's beautiful, that God invested in us to bring life to this world. I wanted to hit it head on, no sugarcoating. In the 90s, there was vagina monologues, and then a little later came the Vagina Bible. But it was all kind of, to me personally, my own opinion, a little murky, little jokes, little stories, little lines here. But nobody really went into the canal itself and told you how women feel and what they talk about and what they feel and their emotions. So I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat the title. It is what it is. If my vagina could talk, it would have a lot to say. Pretty much that's how I did it. It's based on mental, because you don't have to have a child to have to go through some things that you go through as a woman. We're in bad relationships. We have bad sexual relationships. There are sexual diseases out there. There's so many things you go through as a woman that entitles you to understand that, the vagina it's a womb, but it talks, and it has feelings, and it has emotions. I think this is a myth that always gets me, is that you're taught when you're young to grow up and have a husband and have children and a picket white fence, and you're going to live happily ever after. What the hell? That really doesn't happen to everyone. People are divorced 3, 4, 5 times in their lifetime. Sometimes people are married 2, 3, 4 times. People have children. People have miscarriages. That story that we're told from school, where Sally and John has a beautiful home and a white fence and 3 kids and are jumping all around the yard, that picture that's instilled in us when we're in 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, we read in all those books, doesn't exist. Especially now in today's time, if it does exist, it's kind of rare. So these are things that change in our lives. These are stories that we're told, and you grow up with thinking, I'm going to get married and have a big house, and the night's going to come in and, just kind of carry me off, and I'm going to live happily ever after. That story barely exists anymore. We have to deal with real life, real reality, real pains of the womb, real pains of men, love, marriage, psychological, mental issues, work ethics. Everything comes down to the emotional part of our body. And to me, my story only, I believe the vagina is an emotional beast. I think it controls a lot of what we say, what we do, and what we think. We just don't know it. But we have a period every 28 days. That's emotional. That alone needs to be said. It's all just something that it happens to us. It was instilled upon us. We go through that pain for 5 days. Some people go through more. And it's something to talk about. It's something to have a conversation about. This is a mental period that women go through. And I believe it needs to be discussed. My book was strong enough alone with just my story, but my story is so deep and it's so dark, and it has a lot of pain and a lot of agony. I didn't want to write a book that was going to be painful. I wanted to write a book that was going to be easy to read, easy to learn, easy to uplift, powerful, and entertaining and fun at the same time. I couldn't have done that with just my story because it's been a long road. But I felt when I start writing the book, I am sure there are other women that have went through just as much pain. So I thought of Chicken Soup for the Soul book because my life has been a pretty mess. And then I thought, what if I included other women that don't speak up, that hasn't really said anything, but have also pulled themselves up from different types of issues in life or things that have crippled them or bad relationships or abusive relationship. Why don't I include some of them so together we make a powerful impact? So it's 4 authors and me, so it's 5 people total. And I said, why don't we just cut to the chase, tell what happened? How'd you bring yourself up without any other self-help books or any remedies or, doing it on your own? Let's just hit it where it is and help other women and tell how we did it, what we went through, what we overcame, and let's make some volume, make some noise, and help some other women. So I didn't want to be selfish about my story because, yeah, we all have a story. But isn't it nicer to know that you're connected to other people? Our lives have crashed through different states, different counties, different countries, and all of a sudden, wow, she went through that too. I never knew that happened to you. And in reading these women's stories, I did reach out to one of the authors and I apologized to her after I read her story because I knew her once in my life. And I said, I am so sorry. I was not a sister that was there for you when this happened to you. But you no longer have to worry about being alone again. So that to me was very encouraging. It was very inspiring because I thought I went through some mess. I had to read somebody else's story to understand that I was blessed. What I say to people who think that is that read the book. I'm not bashing men. I love men. I love sex. I love life. I love men. I love great, good-looking men. I love boy toys. I love it like anybody else. But some men you get are not good for you. Everything that you think is good is not good for you. So I didn't bash men. I just talked about some of the bad things that happened to me in my life with men. Doesn't mean it happened to other women. And actually, I've had men reach out to me that have read the book saying it was such an easy read for them. They really enjoyed it. And now they know what not to do in a relationship. So I would encourage men to read the book because you will learn a lot about women and you will learn what you shouldn't do and how they feel and what they need in their life. So I encourage men to read the book. I'm never going to bash a man. I need men. You know me, I need men. Never going to be without a man. Out of all the stories in the book, the one that touched my soul the most is the one that got away. He was just a beautiful soul. Met him in Atlanta, great guy, treated me like such. And every time I go back home, I visit him and we have lunch. And matter of fact, just a couple of months ago, we had lunch. I went to visit my mom and I hooked up with him for drinks and food and wings. Just one of those guys that you just when you grow up and says, I want somebody tall, dark, handsome, nice, sweet, that treats me. And he was all of that. But I was so wrapped up in ending a bad relationship, I didn't see it. And he waited 5 years for me. He waited 5 years. And I still didn't go back. So now that I'm older and wiser, I keep telling him, I tease him every time I talk to him, if you ever get divorced, call me. I said, don't go back, but I may go back a little bit. He's still one of my best friends today. And if you read the book, you'll actually find out that I wind up dating his best friend later years in life, and he kind of set us up. But just the one that got away. He just allowed me to finish a relationship before coming to him. And I think that was a beautiful thing. So. What my immediate family thinks about me writing this book, they don't care for it. They don't know why I had to title it that way. They don't know what made me write a book. Why didn't I think of something else to do? My mother thinks it's porn. She's never even looked at it. I don't think she even has a copy of it, but I love her. That's Mom. My sister is like, I'm gonna get your book and put it on my sofa table so when people come over, if they choose to read it, they can read it. My brother thinks it's dumb. I'm just being honest. My daughter thinks it's like, well, actually she's been in the studio with me recording the audiobook and she thinks it's just gravy. She's, Mom, she keeps asking me, I didn't know all those stories. Oh, that's him. That's who that was. So she's like enjoying it. She loves it, but she's a mini-me. So she thinks it's wonderful. But I don't think anyone else really cares. Now, my ex, who I talk about in the book, which was a bad relationship, his family has given me great accolades they like. And even though I'm talking about someone in their family, but they have given me support because they've seen a lot of what I went through. So I'm blessed and happy for that. But at the end of the day, I don't need my family to okay me because I know who I am and I found me and my voice is for me only. And I want to help other people. So whether they support me or not, I'm moving on, girl. I'm doing me. I am kind of in a secret, quiet relationship right now. And he's a black brother, chocolate with green eyes. And he's adorable. We have fun. And is it okay to say he's my boy toy? I think he is. We're not doing anything serious. He's been married before, I've been married before. We just kind of just have fun with each other and we talk and, we have sex and we have a good time and we talk about life. And I'm not looking for nothing more and neither is he, but I'm content with that right now because I'm doing so much of my life right now. I don't really want to be into any type of entanglement. So I'm okay with that. So I do have a few guys that I date and I have fun with them. And I let them know up the front that, I'm a sister that's on the go, on the move. I'm trying to be a boss at everything I do. I don't have time really for relationships, but I'll do friends with benefits any day of the week. It's pretty cool because you don't have any responsibilities to it. And I'm good with that. I'm good with that. If I met the one today, I'm all in. I'm swimming, butt naked. I'm doing laps in the pool. I'm just going around. I'm like, I'm all in. But if the universe sends him to me, I'm taking him. And I'll take him and hopefully he'll take me for what I am, who I am, and how I speak and what I do. Because I'm pretty rough. I'm pretty rowdy. I'm from Capitol Heights, remember? So I got a lot of craziness in me. So, but if the universe sends him to me, all bets are off. Hook, line, and sinker, I'm in the swimming pool. The pulse right now of the book is that we're at a steady pace. And I think more than anything, even if I didn't sell one book, the fact that me and 4 other authors were able to tell our stories and to heal ourselves from within, I think we did justice. I have gotten so many women, even with the reviews on Amazon, that have said they love it. They love the unapologetic part of the book. They understand it. They want to hear more. I think we did our job. And of course, we sold more than one book. But I believe that this book speaks volume I believe that this book speaks volume and that it changes a lot of women. And I think it has heart and soul to it. The authors did a fantastic job of telling their stories. It's kind of like a pearl clincher in some parts where you're like, oh my God, did you go through that? And then others, it's very heartwarming. It's fun. There's some sprinkles of sex. I mean, I think the book is steady. The reviews are great. The podcast reviews I've done are wonderful. The magazine interviews I have done are just amazing. And I'm good. And I'm really looking forward to the audiobook coming out before Christmas. I am looking forward to the authors coming on again in volume 2 and adding more authors. So I'm excited. It has been a blessing to all of us and those that have read it. I believe that. So a sneak peek of volume 2 is more of us, plus I'm going to add more women because I know there's more women, and I have actually been approached for other women to come in volume 2. I think it's going to be bigger, better, more profound. We're going to speak on things that most women don't talk about. The conversation is going to be a lot deeper, and I'm excited about it. And more importantly, I may want to do another book for men because men are calling me saying, hey, we got stories. We got things that have happened to us at the hands and mental and physical abuse of women. So not only do I want to do volume 2, I want to do a book for men because there are a lot more men that are going through what the women are going through, but they don't speak about it because they're supposed to be stronger and not talk about it. But that taboo is about to go away because I'm going to bring it out. Because I did take some flack about using the word vagina. Oh, it's adult content. Oh, and I don't get it. It's because it's a vagina. I mean, what's adult content about vagina? You all were birthed from a vagina. What's wrong about it? It's real. It's here. It's our hormone. It's our body. Let's talk about it. But you had the vagina monologues that made millions. What made it different? Because you put the word monologue behind it? What really made it different? The Vaginal Bible. What made it different? You put the word Bible behind it? I said mine's talk. Listen. Listen to it. Understand what it's telling you. When you're cramping, listen to it. Take some medicine. I mean, it does a lot of things. And I'm not ashamed of it. And I'm not ashamed to talk about how it has pained me through the years. And some women aren't ashamed to talk about it either. You know, my book is not for the lighthearted. My book is for women that face life and face reality and want to know what other women are talking about. You know that song, let's give them something to talk about. I'm just kidding. But really, I mean, it's something to talk about. And I think if we have more conversations about it, it'll be easier to understand, you know, the mental, the physical, all this stuff that comes from that. I think, you know. Linda lives. That's where Linda goes from here. Linda lives her life. I have been a mom for so long of 3 children. I'm a domestic abuse survivor. I survived the tragedy of the murder of my son. I survived being sexually assaulted. I survived homelessness. I survived many bad relationships, and I conquered some good ones. But at the end of the day, Linda is ready to live. I'm only going to get bigger, better, and stronger, and want to do more in life. I have so many plans that I'm trying to cram them all in, but I got to slow down a little bit because I'm driving myself crazy. But I want to live as long as I'm able to exist. I don't want to put a back burner on anything. I want to just go for it. And if I F up along the way, I'll get back up and I'll keep it pushing. We're going to make mistakes. You know, I feel like my masterpiece is yet to come.